Good afternoon, everyone. Today we'll start with chapter 2, that is distribution of particles in compartments. We have already done the problems of distributing particles in compartments in previous lecture, where we did distribution of four distinguishable particles in two compartments. That means we know that how do we distribute particles in compartments. Now let us take on to distribution of n particles in two compartments. Before taking up these distributions, we must know that the number of macrostates and number of microstates in the system. So how do we calculate number of macrostates of the system? It is always equals to n plus 1, whereas n stands for number of particles. I have already told you in the previous lecture that number of macrostates are always one more than the number of particles. If we have four number of particles, that means number of macrostates always will be equals to 5. If we have six number of particles, that means number of macrostates always will be equals to 7, which is always one more than the number of particle. Here we have n number of particles, that means number of macrostates equals to n plus 1. These n plus 1 macrostates are 0 and n, 1 and n minus 1. Naturally, if first compartment is empty, that means total number of particles in the second compartments are n. If first particle contain one number of particles, that means naturally in the second compartment number of particles are n minus 1 and so on. This is how do we calculate number of macrostates, whereas these are the specification of number of particles in each compartment, because macrostates states that it is the specification of number of particles in each compartment. So now the second challenge is to calculate number of microstates in the system. How do we calculate number of microstates of the system? Let us consider two particles in two compartments. Means first particle or one particle can be arranged in two ways. That means that is equals to 2. Similarly, if we take two particles, they can be arranged in 2 into 2. The arrangement of first particle is 2 and the arrangement of second particle is 2. So it comes out to be equals to 2 raised to the power 2. That means in n number of particles, distribution of n particles in two compartment implies number of ways will be always equal to 2 raised to the power n, whereas n is nothing but these are the number of particles, whereas every particle can be arranged in two ways. That means we have calculated number of ways means number of microstates of the system. That means if we have n number of particles, that means number of microstates are always equal to 2 raised to the power n. Now we know that the number of microstates and the number of macrostates. Number of macrostates are n plus 1, whereas number of microstates are 2 raised to the power n. So out of these macrostates, let us consider a particular macrostate n1 and n2. n1 is nothing but these are the particles in first compartment and n2 are the number of particles in second compartment, such that total number of particles in both the compartment is equals to both the compartments are equals to n. So these n particles can be arranged among themselves in n factorial ways. Naturally, the P stands for permutation, which is nothing but it is the arrangement of n particles. That means which is equals to n factorial ways. Now this n factorial ways are the total number of arrangement. That means this total number of arrangement can be number of meaningful ways, number of meaningless arrangement. The arrangement include meaningful as well as meaningless arrangement. Now you will be getting confused that what does it mean that meaningful and the meaningless arrangement. See, meaningless means if we distribute A, B, C, D. four distinguishable particles A, B, C, D in two compartments. One of the microstate is A, B, C in the first compartment and D in the second compartment can be arranged in six meaningless arrangement. That means what is six meaningless arrangement? If we take this arrangement like A, B, C, comma D is the first arrangement, A, C, B, comma D is the second arrangement, A, B, C, A, comma D in the means we are only changing or replacing A by B, B by C and C by A. That means it is nothing but it is just the repetition of the particles, but the distinguishable arrangement is not changing. That means these are called as the meaningless arrangement. So total number of ways will be always equal to number of meaningful ways multiplied by the number of meaningless ways. That means n particles in compartment 1 can be arranged in n factorial meaningless ways, and n2 particles in compartment 2 can be arranged in n2 factorial multiplied by the meaningless ways. That means n1 and n2 can be arranged in n1 factorial multiplied by n2 factorial multiplied by meaningless ways. So number of, whereas we know the number of meaningful ways. What is number of meaningful ways? It is nothing but it is equal actually the microstate of the system, because microstate give you the proper arrangement of particle, that is called as meaningful ways. Meaningful ways is nothing but it is total number of ways divided by number of meaningless ways. That means it will be, what is number of meaningful ways? Number of meaningful ways is number of microstate. Number of microstate is nothing but number of microstate is always equals to thermodynamic probability. This also we have done in the previous lecture, that if we know the number of microstates, that means we are always able to know the value of thermodynamic probability. That means W n1 comma n2 will be equal to total number of ways are n factorial, number of meaningless ways are n1 factorial multiplied by n2 factorial, whereas it can be written as equals to n factorial divided by n1 factorial into n minus of n1 factorial. Why n2 is replaced by n minus of n1? Because n1 plus n2 is always equals to n. Total number of particles are equals to n. That means we can replace n2 by n minus n1 factorial. Further, the total number of microstate we have already calculated, that is 2 raised to the power n. So now the probability of the system will be equals to n factorial divided by n1 factorial into n2 factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n, because even in the previous lecture we calculated the probability of distribution of two particles, which is always equal to number of microstates of the system or number of meaningful ways. What is number of meaningful ways? You have calculated here number of meaningful ways, that is n factorial divided by n1 factorial into n2 factorial multiplied by total number of divided by total number of microstate. How many microstates are here? Here we have 2 raised to the power n, so it is multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. If we have r and n minus of r particles, that means probability of distribution can be written as n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. Now I hope you are now clear with how do we calculate probability of distribution of any number of particles in two compartments. So now let us come to the deviation from the state of maximum probability. What is state of maximum probability? Where the particles tends to stay for maximum time is called as as state of maximum probability. So deviation means if we deviate a bit from the state of maximum probability, what is the effect? As we know that the probability of the macro state r comma n minus of r is given by prn minus r is equal to n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2n. When n particles are distributed in two compartments, the number of macrostates are n plus 1, that we already know. So if we have the macrostate r and n minus r, the maximum probability will be if r equals to n by 2, means the value of a r is equal to n by 2, provided n is even, means n has the even numbered values. When we substitute r is equal to n by 2, we get Prn minus r is as P n by 2 and n by 2, because the most probable microstate will be at that time n by 2 comma n by 2, and when we substitute here we'll get n factorial divided by n by 2 factorial multiplied by n by 2 factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. So the probability of the most probable macrostate is equal to n upon 2 comma n upon 2. Now that means the maximum probability can be written as n factorial divided by n upon 2 factorial multiplied by n upon 2 factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. So let us deviate this maximum probable state by some factor. For example, probability of macrostate is slightly deviate from the most probable state by x, whereas x is much less than as compared to n. That means the new macrostate will be n upon 2 plus x comma n upon 2 minus x, means we have deviated the first particle by plus x and the second particle by minus of x, means the new probability distribution of probability become n factorial divided by n upon 2 plus x factorial multiplied by, sorry, it is n not x, it will be n upon 2 minus of x factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. This is the probability of the deviated state. Further, let us multiply and divide right hand side by n upon 2 factorial square. That means we'll get px is equal to n factorial divided by n upon 2 factorial square multiplied by n upon 2 factorial square. This is the multiplication and division by n upon 2 factorial square divided by n by 2 plus x factorial multiplied by n upon 2 minus of x factorial multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n. Now write this term in one bracket like n factorial upon n upon 2 factorial square multiplied by 1 upon 2 raised to the power n multiplied by n upon 2 factorial square divided by n upon 2 plus x factorial into n upon 2 minus x factorial, or we can say that px is equal to, whereas this term represent the value of maximum probability, means most probable state, that is denoted by p maximum multiplied by n upon 2 factorial square divided by n upon 2 plus x factorial multiplied by n upon 2 minus x factorial. So now taking log on both the sides, we get log of px is equal to log of p maximum plus 2 log n divided by 2 minus of log n upon 2 plus x factorial minus of log n upon 2 minus x factorial. How does it come? See, when we apply logarithm on this, we'll get log of p maximum, because multiplication of log is always can be written as, if we have log m into n, can be always written as log m plus n. That is why here it was log p maximum plus log n upon 2 factorial square. Now it is log n upon 2 factorial raised to the power 2. Again, log m raised to the power n can be written as n log m. That is why it is written as 2 log n upon 2 factorial. Now the things in the denominator, whenever you have log m upon log n, can be written as log m minus of log n. Means the terms in the denominator can be written as in the numerator by subtracting it from the numerator. That means log m divided by log n can be written as log m minus log n. That is why it is written as minus of log n upon 2 plus x factorial minus log n upon 2 minus x factorial. Since n is very large, therefore we can apply Stirling formula on it. What is Stirling formula? Stirling formula is nothing but it is log of n factorial can be written as n log n minus of n. Now apply this Stirling formula on this equation. That means we have three factorial terms. One is this, second one is this, and the third one is this. Now apply Stirling formula on all these three terms. We'll get 2 is common over here. That means when we apply Stirling formula, it will be n upon 2 log n upon 2 minus of n upon 2. Similarly, we can apply the Stirling formula on both these terms. Now, what we do, simplify this equation after applying Stirling formula and applying Taylor's theorem, which is log of 1 plus y is equal to y minus of y square upon 2 plus y cube upon 3 minus of y 4 upon 4 and so on. All right, and neglecting the higher term. This is in homework for you. So please solve this equation to get log of px is equal to log of p maximum minus of 2x square divided by n. That means when we solve the last three terms, we'll apply the Stirling formula, and applying the Taylor's theorem, we'll get minus of 2x square divided by n from there. So we can write it as it will be log of px. We can take this to the left hand side. It will be minus of log p maximum is equal to minus of 2x square divided by n. Here multiply and divide by n upon 2. So it will be log m minus of log n can be written as log m upon n equals to minus of 4x square upon n square multiplied by n upon 2. Or we can say that log of px upon p maximum can be written as a minus of x divided by n upon 2. It is nothing but I have taken 2 in the denominator. That means it will be x divided by n upon 2 the whole square multiplied by n upon 2. Again applying the exponential on the equation. We know that exponential and the logarithm cancel the effect of one another. We'll get px upon p maximum is equal to e raised to the power minus x upon n upon 2 the whole square multiplied by n upon 2. Or we can replace the equation as px is equal to p maximum exponential of minus of f square n divided by 2, whereas f stands for x divided by 2, which is basically the fractional deviation from most probable number of particles in a cell. This is how we calculate the probability of the deviated state, which is denoted by px. Now I hope it is now clear that how do we calculate the deviation from the most probable state. Now if you have any queries and any problem in any line in any topic, you are most welcome to let me know. And further the discussion, we'll take up the discussion of this deviated state and the maximum probable state in the next lecture. So till that time, goodbye and take care.